astonishingly real, only on the Qd-Oled.
CES 2023 Las Vegas just returned home, saw every TV from every manufacturer that was there. But one thing is absolutely clear. The fight of the year will be between LG G3 and the Samsung S95C.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for watching today. Please consider liking and subscribing. We are real tech for real people. Just got back from CES in Las Vegas, had an amazing time and saw some incredible TVs from all the heavy hitters. Samsung, LG, TCL, and Hisense. Sony was not in this. We'll talk about them a little bit later in this video. But if you think about this entire year as a fight, there is one fight that absolutely matters. It is the MLA LG G3 Evo versus the Samsung S95C Qd-Oled. And I think about this in terms of fighting, as I was able to go to events behind the scenes for both, speaking to the engineers, the creators, and the marketing folks from both sides. And it reminded me so much of fight camps. And I will say both of these two teams are extremely proud, extremely competitive, but at the same time, so very polite. So think of the two displays at 55, 65, 77. There will be differences between an 83-inch G3 and the 55, 65, and 75 G3, as well as the same three sizes from the Qd-Oled, the 77-inch being the addition this year, as well as a 95 having a 1 Connect box, and there will also be a 90 model. However, when you talk to this group, it's amazing how much respect that both of these teams have for one another. They tell you what they want to do. They tell you what they've seen. They tell you what they've done while being so polite to the competition when you know behind the scenes they want to tear each other apart. But it's awesome seeing them discuss what they're looking to do without putting down who they're going after. Now, it reminds me of a fight between these two. As I mentioned, this year versus last year. Last year, the C2 rolled into town, did amazing. The G2 came in with its heatsink, differentiating itself from the G1, having a heatsink, separating itself from the C2 with a higher peak brightness, some other features other than design. Gaming features ready to rock. It comes in. Love the C2, love the G2, a bit brighter, beautiful look to it, and then out of nowhere, the Samsung S95B takes the world by storm. So the way I picture that is you have the C2 strolling in, the G2 comes in ready to dominate everything as it would be the brightest OLED having the heatsink. We knew the Qd-Oleds would be released, but we assumed that would be from Sony. Both Sony and Samsung use Samsung displays Qd-Oled, except we knew, or at least assumed from the CES the year before, that Samsung would not release till the end of the year or right now in 2023. Out of nowhere, they took the entire world by storm, knocking everybody down. Now, what's interesting about last year, while it came in, the little guy, and I say the little guy because it only came in 2 sizes, which made comparisons interesting last year. Even if you thought it was better than the G2, you can always say, well, it only comes in 2 sizes. Oh, it's very affordable. It's only got the 2 sizes. I'm not sure about the reliability. Then the G2, more tried and true, had the 55, 65, 77, 83. It had more sizes to really compete, and then that was an option. The C2 was an option. So they didn't match up perfectly, and though the S95B came out raw, bright, and saturated, the firmware updates changed everything. Why did it change everything? Well, there was a lot of discussion back then. The S95B I saw at launch was raw, saturated, bright, excellent screen uniformity. I did a few reviews on it. As time went on, it was updated. Now, updating, whether people think it was crippled or hurt, I think it was being kept safe. It does not have a heatsink to protect it. Definitely changed the picture quality throughout the year. It's something Samsung is known to do, whether you like it or not. So it was an issue. It hurt its credibility, and many of us, as well as the panel I saw and recommended, wasn't the panel at the end of the year. Now, the S95B is still absolutely amazing. It just wasn't the dominant force it was in the beginning of the year. Now, that might not have been a safe force for the health of the panel, so that might have been for the best. It's still excellent. Quantum dot OLEDs being brighter and having a wider color gamut, even being updated to keep it safe, still makes it ahead of the WRGB OLEDs that we have. That said, the recommendation by me ended up being the C2, as it wasn't as expensive as the G2, got you nearly the performance as the G2, where the G2 was brighter in some content. The C2 got you nearly there. Without the heatsink, it still had the APL increase that you'll see on the C3, which gave you a perceived brightness over the C1. It didn't measure brighter, but it was perceptually brighter. We thought it looked brighter. That's what the C3 will do this year, as it will not have the MLA technology. The G2, going after the Quantum dot OLED it didn't know it was facing, is the funny part or interesting part of this discussion. The G2 comes in ready to dominate. It has a heatsink. It had no idea. They knew it was coming, just didn't know it was coming so fast. This year, they're ready. MLA technology going after the Quantum dot OLED specifically. It won't be on the 83-inch size. It will only be in 55, 65, and 77, going right after Samsung at 55, 65, and 77. This matchup is amazing. You have tried and true WRGB OLEDs from LG with this MLA technology, with the AI Picture Pro, all of their processing, also pixel boosting, going after Quantum dot OLED, which I'm sure has different reflection handling. It is more durable. It's looking to push 2,000 nits, going against the 2,100 nits of the LG. And I laugh at that because it's the one-upsmanship of these two camps. These two camps being respectful, but I always picture in the marketing is that we're doing 2,000 nits. Oh yeah? We're doing 2,100, baby. 2,150. We're doing, so it's interesting watching them go back and forth while being very polite. They're looking to absolutely destroy each other. So I am so excited to see this matchup. Now, why is Sony not part of this conversation? Well, they're not here. People will say, well, they're afraid, they have nothing to show. Their lineup is done. They're not going to just start building TVs. I think Sony is hanging back, waiting to see what these two do. I think that's a mistake. However, they're hanging back. They will have things to compete. What will keep them from directly competing is price, probably size release. Will they have a 55, 65, 77? Will they have an 83? Now, with LG, yes, they will have an 83, but it'll rely on the processing, the pixel boost APL to be perceived brighter. The 83 will not have the MLA technology. Either will the 88-inch Z3. That means that the new technology will be on the 3 versus 3. Also, what they're looking to accomplish is the same. Films, movies, sports. Sony has that movie accuracy kind of motto that they adhere to. Gaming. Samsung has pioneered gaming on TVs for many years. LG was trying to take that crown. They have their game optimizer by Samsung. LG has their game optimizer. NVIDIA, G-Sync. AMD FreeSync Premium. They're going after 144 hertz processing on 120 hertz panel. I hear it's amazing. I felt it playing on the 8K 900C at CES. I'm sure LG has something planned as well, but they match up perfectly. Sizes, their direction, gaming, movies, sports. They're not trying to claim to be just movies. They're everything. The processing on LG has caught up and may have surpassed Sony's cognitive. We'll see what they're coming with this year. But I love that they're both after a bright, vibrant, poppy image, all going after gaming. There'll be no, only two HDMI 2.1 ports. That won't be in this conversation. It wouldn't have been last year either, except that Samsung only had two sizes. You have a heatsink with MLA going for 2000 nits against a new and improved Qd-Oled without a heatsink, but trying to be brighter. Can't wait to see how that happens. I've seen them both. You're watching them both on screen, but I think about this as a fight night. They're going after each other. And before I finish here, I want you to think of it this way. We have no disparity between them as far as sizes. Three sizes, three competitors going at it. You have the G3 will be very separate from the C2. I'm sorry, the C3. So it won't be like the year before we can go for the cheaper C3. You can, but the G3 is the one that's going to be separated from the C3. The MLA technology will have a larger gap than the C2, C3. So that fight will be one champion from LG going after maybe the S90. I don't know. I know there's three sizes there, we think. I don't know if there will be differences other than the one Connect box, but pricing will be interesting. Samsung came in, not only did it disrupt everything with picture quality, price crippled everything, including their own lineup. Their mini LED lineup suffered because they came in so cheap. Here, don't expect that. The S95 will be premium. It will have the one Connect box. So the G2 will not have an expensive G3 won't have an expensive 83-inch. So you'll be able to compare 77 versus 77. Premium versus premium. You won't have the C3 going after the S95C, if you follow what I mean. Two top dogs that go right at each other. And one last thing before I leave is, again, like Fight Night. You have, or Fight Year, you have your two competitors standing nose to nose, talking smack. Those are your two TVs. You have the respective teams. You have the engineers, the marketing, the corporate, corporate from different parts of the world, whispering behind the scenes, but being polite, talking. And then you have us. You have the influencers. You have the media. You have the commentators, all talking about it, not favoring each one, just telling you what we see. Then we have the comments. We have the fans of these technologies who favor one over the other. I want to see that fan energy in the comments. Let me know what you think about both. What do you think about Samsung? Do you trust them? Last year, the updates changing everything. Are you sour on that now? Do you not trust them? With LG, it wasn't perfect either. The Evo panels had pink tint. They had uniformity issues. Where are you in this? Are you disappointed that Sony is not here? But if Sony was here, unless they bring a more affordable price and all the gaming options, it would still put them at a weird place. These two match up perfectly in all criteria, aiming it with different technologies. Let me know what you think as the group down there that's in the stands screaming. What are your thoughts? I'm Brian. This is Brian's Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Love you guys.